Dota never sleeps, Dota never stops, and Dota is always here. I'm Harry Freak, joining me is OTOMO, and we are going to be opening the Eastern European Division 1 here at the DPC. And OTOMO, you're going to be with me only today, and
Yes.
that's kind of sad, but we're going to have a nice little opening. So how do you feel being a guest here at the Eastern Europe?
Oh, it's so good. It's so nice. It's much better time for me than any other region. So I get to come here at the evening, couple of games, and go to sleep. So it's always fun. You get to watch Dota, talk about with your good friend Harry Freak, and then you go to bed. It's just it's great. And I like the teams we're seeing today. We have a lot of unanswered questions with these teams, so it's good to see them on the first day.
Speaking of the teams that we are seeing today, we're gonna have Darkside versus NAVI and Hydra versus One Move. NAVI and Hydra coming from the Division 2 for people who might get a little bit confused about it, given that NAVI was part of Division 1 in the previous one. This is the Puck Champ lineup that qualified for Division 1, and then the roster was picked up by NAVI with slight changes there, and they are going to be facing off against the Darkside. Speaking about those two teams, these are the teams that did have, I'd say, almost significant changes in their rosters. So Melojewel will be replacing Young G Navi. Malady will be replacing H Duo, or in PuckChamp, whatever. And then on Darkside, we have Dizzying and we have Blizzy, Rabel, Roger, and Soneko. So kind of the core of the team remains the same. So looking at this first series here and the roster changes, do you have favorites? Do you think there's anything to look out for, or is this just gonna be something that we're gonna have to see play out?
I think I'd favor the Navi draft just a little bit more, like the players there, the former Puck Champ, but it's like you said, both teams come in with two, like 40% of the team is different than they had last tour, so it is going to be a big question mark on the strength of the two teams. I will favor Navi just a little bit, but it's hard to tell. We're gonna have to wait and see with the draft and then see how the game goes. But again, I'll go back to Navi just a little bit more.
Yeah. So, this is this is nice. In the last Eastern European DPC, we had some gears turning, stuff like that, a little bit of mechanics stuff. But here we're more in touch with nature, so I think it's gonna be easier and more zen to be in this kind of an environment. Looking at the nice little graphics that the production team has ready for us, I actually have to say I quite like it. It might need some time to adjust to it, but I think it's a good way to see what's going on.
Yeah, look at that. We're still 7.32, even though it's E. So there has been an update, but a lot of the heroes are still very strong. They do get rid of the Brood Mother and the Ember Spirit. For Navi, they get rid of Death Prop as well as Primal Beast. And I think the Darkside, Blizzy plays a fair amount of it, so they don't want to really give that to him. You asked me a bit before this about the patch changes. Oh my god, look at that! These are patch changes. Elder Titan received a pretty substantial buff. Astral Spirit gives him more damage early levels. It maxes out to the same amount, 80 per hero, but early levels went from 15 to 18, so you get a little bit more damage. Invoker, I don't think he had any changes. Io may have received a buff, but Io Leshrac, even though Leshrac did receive nerfs to Pulse Nova, Bloodstone doesn't last as long as well. He is still considered, this Io Lesh combo. You get a whole Locket mech, you even get the shard for the Io, buffs up the lifesteal. It's pretty powerful, and looks like, Navi, they just want to go fast in this game.
I have to say though, whenever I see a minor patch, which it was, I was slightly disappointed. I was hoping for for some kind of map changes and stuff like that. But whenever you see a minor patch and people instantly switch heroes completely, and this is literally switching heroes completely, those teams tend to drop the ball. So I'm kind of concerned for the teams just taking a complete 180 turn and changing things completely. I can say, Wisp Lesh has been in the meta somewhat, but opening up with an Invoker Elder Titan, it's pretty much unheard of in the 732, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the same thing. It's like Elder Titan in general was just not seen in the previous patch. Even Invoker, we saw a lot of the spirits come out, maybe a little bit of Puck as well, but Invoker wasn't really top 3 mid laners, I guess you could say with that. So Darkside definitely going a little more off meta. It's not like I said, Io Lesh to take a hit, so it's not as strong as before, but it feels a lot more meta. And I like what you said about teams drifting too far, right? Like the patch just started and already you're switching up everything. It takes time to find out what's what nerf thing is bad, what nerf thing is still very viable, and same thing was like what's buffed and still and actually good, and what's buffed and still dog shit basically.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you are gonna be able to adjust. I've seen pubs, and in pubs the picks haven't changed all that much. Lena has been kind of thrown in the dumpster. I don't think because she's like super weak right now. She's a lot weaker than she used to be. But I think people are just used to how strong she was, and then you just don't make good choices when you do play the hero. But considering that we have a new patch on our hands, we're probably gonna have a much bigger patch in a month and a half, I think roughly would be fair to assume. We can definitely theory craft right now, OTOMO, and you're free to do so. Any heroes that you think are gonna be making a comeback? The items, especially ones with the sacred relic, are those gonna be relevant?
Yes.
What's gonna happen? What are we gonna see really in the next month and a half? Is the meta going to develop? What's gonna happen?
I saw a few heroes I thought caught my eye. One of them was Alchemist, because you were mentioning the Sacred Relic. I think that he's one of the a really good builder for it. And also his stun got buffed a lot. Level 1 used to be 1.75 stun duration max. Now it's 2.2. It's almost half a second extra. That really adds up because 2.2 seconds level 1 is a big stun buff. I thought Jakiro's Ice Path going from 3.5 to 4.5 seconds is a big deal. Macropyre does 1 extra tick of damage. It's all like those feel like pretty big buffs. For nerfs heroes, I did think that Lena did take quite a hit. You were saying 100 health less, 90 damage, 90 attack speed reduced. Like there is a few hits to the Lena that I think would make her not as viable as she used to be. Even Ricky with the sleeping dart, the cast range was reduced by a lot. So I feel like we might see a bit more melee carries, and that's about it. Oh, and Boots of Bearing, I think Visage has got a really big buff because of that. Like the Boots of Bearing with Visage is really strong.
I like that you mentioned the Alchemist. We are going to be seeing Shigetsu in the next series. He's one of the guys that used to play a little bit of Alchemist. We also did see him in Division 1 last time as well. I can't really remember who it was that played it a couple of times, but they lost, so they stopped doing it in the later portions. But we're here only at week 1, first game of the Division 1. Overall, the teams that we're looking at today, OTOMO, are kind of middle of the pack, probably even slightly lower. So a lot of these matches already today are kind of very important. If someone gets absolutely dumpstered, we could already say, okay, this might be one of the teams that is going to be eliminated. Because when there used to be 6 weeks, you could say, okay, in week 1 and week 6, there's going to be 2 completely different teams. You can really improve. But from week 1 to week 3, well, it's a little bit harder to say. But we do get to see a Disruptor with the Elder Titan giving vision, Invoker having a lot of chase. That's a lot of chase they can go for. I just don't know how they get that initial kill to actually go for the chase.
Yeah, it's like their stuns are, I mean, they're okay, right? Maybe you can tornado into Echo Stomp, that's kind of decent, but overall you're looking at Darkside and you're thinking that your abilities to start fights are not as amazing. Whereas you look at Navi, Mars Arena, Io literally can show up anywhere to turn the fight around, so it does feel like it's a little bit more active on Navi's side. And by the way, Meteor Hammer got buffed, half a second removed of the channel time. So we're seeing Meteor Hammer on every hero, and one of them is of course the Mars, where you can just spear someone, drop Meteor Hammer. It feels a bit memey, to be honest, but we'll see if the teams believe that or not. And look at that. That's a very powerful offlane duo, the Mars and the Skyrim. That's a lot of damage right there.
Yeah, I feel like Navi are going for let's jump in and blow someone up, whereas Darkside, I mean, I tend to underestimate the damage of Elder Titan lineup. Sometimes I'm like, this lineup isn't going to have damage, and then the Elder Titan just contributes so much that he counteracts it completely, and if he's not constantly in the meta, you don't really have a feel of how much it actually is. But you spoke about Meteor Hammers, Invoker, Elder Titan, Disruptor. This feels like 3 heroes with Meteor Hammers, Stomp, and then they're just channeling those down, and you have the kinetic field so people can't even run away from it. So in that regard, that could be very, very fun to see. And also one thing that we didn't mention about the Disruptor, it is one of the IO counters. You're coming in with relocate where you're not actually, so even if you're not using it for a chase, for the extra kills with the glimpse, you're still gonna have that defensive capability of the hero.
I mean, not only glimpsing, but you can also set up the kinetic field and static storm just so that you can see them coming. It's very telegraphed. So it does feel like this disruptor pick is very good by Darkside. Just separating the IO and the Leshrac does a lot for them. I wonder if they're gonna go for anything else here. For Navi, they still have a carry pick. They could go for the Spectre if they want to. And look at that, they go for the Pudge, a hero that doesn't mind these sort of long but like extended fights, and he does. Plus, when you get the Agam Scepter on him, he reduces the heal coming out from the Bloodstone or the Lesh, from the IO. So it is, and he's very durable. Skywrath Mage and Mars, their damage in the lane is a lot of is magical, and Pudge comes in with a lot of magic, with a lot of health anyway, which is makes it a bit difficult for them to bring him down. So I like Darkside's adjustment in the second phase a lot. You know, the Disruptor and the Pudge. I feel like it's a very good, like a really good counter to what they have going on.
I'm loving it. I actually feel the Pudge is a perfect hero. As you mentioned, a lot of HP against only magical damage. Physical damage comes from the God's Rebuke. That's about it. Okay, that could be a problem in the lane for the Pudge, but then you have an Aghanim's to reduce the heals. When you have a lot of HP against these heroes, they don't do anything. And then again, we talked about the Elder Titan. Well, your damage is gonna be even more massive. So I'm loving it. I think this Pudge is actually a good pick and dizzying, considering that the guy is new on the scene coming in. You know, this is a good chance for him to show off.
I know, right? It's like what better hero to style with than the Pudge. Navi, their last pick is going to be Shigetsu. One of the things I think about the patch that Shigetsu feels like he himself has been buffed. He's always been a hero that shies away from ranged carries. Like, he didn't even play Lina much during the previous DPC Division 2, even though when Lina was at her peak. You know, he likes the Ursa, the Slark, Bloodseeker, Marcy, Faceless Void. Like, you can see, like, these are the melee heroes that he likes. He does play a bit of Weaver Drow as well, but it's not the same. And he's been playing a bit of Alchemist and the Phantom Assassin in the pubs himself. And I kind of, again, I like the Alchemist in general.
Ooh,
I think that may be something they could go with.
Slark. Go Slark.
Slark is decent.
Good.
PA, and this is where is he gonna go with? He goes with he goes with the Chaos Knight. He does like his illusion carry. So Chaos Knight, lots of burst physical damage, good mobility for the hero as well, so he can jump on people. And they do kind of lack that on Navi, right? Like, a lot of their damage is magical with the Lesh. Mars is mixed, but a fair amount of it is magical. So you do have that nice physical burst coming out from Shigetsu. Darkside, we're assuming he's going to be an offlaner, but it could be Elder Titan offlane, and they pick something else for Roger.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. I really wouldn't hate an offlane.
They do.
And it's gonna be it might not be. There has been a lot of core Snapfire in Eastern Europe,
yes,
right? So we'll see who picks up what, and it is gonna be an offlane Snapfire. But I'm okay with it because it's still something that deals with the illusions of the CK quite well. It does help you escape. It's in the lane. It's very good against the CK. Roger and Blizzy could have a good time but then again, the Wisp and the CK is not easy to deal with. This is an interesting approach. Any favorites from your side?
The last pick, Snapfire, I'm not a big fan of. I mean, in general, I was feeling Navi a little bit more just with the roster itself. I think the Pudge and Disruptor are great picks. I don't know how I feel about Elder Titan. I'm going to go with Navi a little bit more. I like their mixed damage. They got good sustain. The landing phase looks decent. So I think we're gonna go with Navi on this one, Harry Freak. I can't really change my mind on that one.
I'm a big Darkside fan here. Coming into the series, you looked at Navi as the favorites. I'm not sure if I do, actually. I think the Darkside are looking pretty powerful. I had problems when Ramses was in that lineup because Soneko and Ramses are strong personalities. I think now it's just gonna be Soneko that's pulling the moves, telling people what to do, and I think they're going to be looking much better as a team, and I think they have more potential in that way. But also, I'm loving the Pudge pick overall. I think the damage output is going to be insane, and on the other side, it's not like you have, oh, this hero is going to buy a BKB, oh, this hero is a great BKB builder. Not really. CK is going to do it, but it's not great. So I'm definitely going to be going for Darkside in this one. With that being said, we do have a game on our hands, OTOMO. So before we do jump in, we will of course have a word from our nice sponsors over at TGB.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
And we are gonna be entering the game here, looking at the nice faces of the players. It's always nice to switch from our beautiful faces to some that are gonna match those OTOMO. And looking at the two teams, we might see a fight early on, though. Navi, they decide against it. Smart move, probably.
Yeah, I mean, look at the. I mean, both teams have decent amount of control and stuns, right? So it's like either one could take it. Navi side, they lost their war, so they're like, you know what? It's too risky. They probably suspect that there's an enemy Darkside ward on their side. You don't want to go in a fight with no vision, level 1 like that. You know, when people can just get shredded in half a second. So, okay, good, solid start for Darkside here.
The battle begins.
We'll see what happens there in the end. Roger is gonna be smacking people a bit. He didn't go for the spirit, and Dizing is dead. Okay, we talked about him showing off, well, dying right off the bat with very low, pretty much no reason to do what he just did. That is not a good way to start of his Division 1 career.
No, unfortunate for him. I mean, yeah, I'm surprised that they were able to get that kill on him. I mean, we literally talked about Tiny being the Pudge being this durable core with a lot of health, and to be fair, you do need a few levels to get that going, but that's not the first level I was expecting to have. But I do think that we're gonna have a pretty action-packed lane at the bottom. You know, it's gonna be Disruptor and Pudge, so you can set up glimpse into hooks, and this other side you have Mars as well as the Scarlet Mage. And Scarlet Mage very fast but very fragile, and he's got, check it out, Blightstone on Scarlet Mage. So really good combination with the concussive shots.
That's gonna be a lot of right click coming out from him. Interesting here, Shigetsu is pulling the wave here to connect with Roger. It wasn't his support, so Malady wasn't the one doing it. He wanted to stop the next pull, didn't really happen. So Darkside are gonna be okay, but some shenanigans happening here in the top lane right off the bat.
Yep, top lane. You're saying top lane Roger as well as Blizzy. I mean, it's just all these lane shenanigans. Sometimes I'm like, wait, who's actually coming out ahead? Because you can see the Radiant creeps are going to be going into here, and someone's going to have to go and get some experience. It's going to push into the Navi side, and I think they're going to be happy with that.
Navi are favored here in terms of odds, not by a lot, of course, but it is EGB favoring the dire side here, so they are on your side. We'll see if you guys are actually right, but overall, you were asking who's coming out ahead. Considering the Blizzy currently has 2 CS, well, I'm gonna say that he's not very happy with how the lanes are going, though. The other cores of Darkside, well, they are getting a solid amount of CS, especially Invoker in the mid lane, 12 and 1, 13 and 2. I mean, Rabel is actually doing a really good job.
Oh, by the way, check out Rabel. He's going to go for that first item, Meteor Hammer. You know, we were saying, like, what if we're gonna sell a Meteor Hammer? This is going to be the Tornado Meteor Hammer combo. Okay, I'm all for it. I mean, you're gonna have to get a few levels in, but once you get Quas to about, I think you have to get to my max Quas levels, but then you can have it happen. I'm excited to see it. You know, I haven't seen the pro match yet, so we're going to start off with the first game of the DPC of this tour with a Meteor Hammer on Invoker.
Yep, well, you know, it used to be something that only Thompson did. Now, considering how strong the Meteor Hammer is, it actually makes sense for people to go for it. Roger did take some damage on the top lane, but it's gonna be fine. It is gonna be a Quas Wax Invoker. So, talk to me about this one. Do you just get 3 points in Quas, get a couple of points in Wex, and then go for Exort? Is this kind of a hybrid build that we're gonna see from the Invoker?
I mean, I feel like if you really want to make use of the Meteor Hammer, you need to get max out Quas. You gotta get them in the air as long as possible, because it's like 2.6 at max level, so it's not enough. You gotta get at least, like, you know, 5-6 points. Bottom lane, those Nico. Oh, the spear. And that was pretty close. And one thing that's nice about the Meteor Hammer build is that you do get to get those early Ring of Health as well as Void Stone. Like, Perseverance is just such a value item. Especially in the laning stage, right? Like, massive amounts of health and mana regen keeps you in the lane. And Invoker, you don't really need that as much with the Quas, but it's still very helpful to have. And check out Lizzie though; he is suffering a lot right now.
Though, you know, back to the mid lane, we're seeing these guys fight. Overall, Navi seems like they're winning all of the lanes. I have to say, this Mars having this much of a net worth advantage is a bit of a problem, because, you know, that first blood definitely coming into play. Malajul and Rabel, they're gonna engage in a very tough battle in the river. In the end, Malajul is gonna be faster on his fingers, and if he hadn't been, that would have been a danger to his life.
And Clay mixed out alive, and he's just gonna be fine with it. I mean, I feel like mid lane is going to be a bit of a farm fest in general. You know, it's like, Invoke, what's he gonna do until he gets the Meteor Hammer? Same thing with the Leshrac, like getting a stun off. It just seems like a little bit unlikely. I'm just looking at the bottom lane, keeping my eyes on that one. Because like you said, Malik, he is very happy with the way the lane is going. And the other side, Sonico, he did to pull off, and maybe we might see down in a bit of trouble, actually.
Yeah, is getting low again. They do get the kill before he drops down, and the question is, will he even be going down with Soneko? Beautiful body blocks. Malik is like a creep against Soneko, though. This thing can run away. There's gonna be a spear. He does have the mana after the wand usages, but Malik doesn't want to do it. He's gonna turn around and start farming, and in the end, it's only gonna be Darkside that claimed the kill, so finally getting themselves on the board. As in the mid lane now, Daniel, he might have died, but he's coming over, but it seems like natural disasters will get them into the air. It doesn't matter. The lightning will strike down Rabel, and Melojul gets the kill. Soneko comes over, and I don't know if I want to be going super aggressive if I was him, but it is gonna make Blizzy go down on the top lane. I don't know what's happening here, OTOMO, because everybody is dying. All three lanes, there's action, but the thing is, it seems like Navi are gonna be coming out ahead. Roger, he was left alone after his buddy died. He's gonna stomp on the ground, put the CK to sleep, but he still wants to continue going forward. Malady is so low, and Roger, he's healing himself up. He wants to go in again. He doesn't have the stomp, so Malady is gonna be a little bit too fast for him to do anything about it.
Yeah, losing Blizzy. I mean, you cancel the salve on Malady, so that's like the best thing that happens for Darkside. But it's like, I mean, they just lost 2 cores, right? They lost mid lane, Reable, and then they lost Blizzy in the top lane. Blizzy in general is just not I mean, he's not too far behind, honestly. It was a bad start, but now he's doing kind of okay. But it still feels like he can't really do too much to Shigitsu. You have Chaos Strike and Io. That is just so much sustain. They have no real way of threatening him, and they're gonna go for more.
Yeah, they're gonna be annoying to Blizzy yet again. He eats a cookie, gets himself out of that one, and we'll be fine. Look at Soneko in the mid lane. Yeah, but Melojul knows.
Oh, he walked into it. I mean, he revealed himself. Looks like Melojul, he was pumping up the stun. He's like, nah, it's fine. We don't need to do anything. But this is a lot of resources that they're putting in the mid lane. Darkside, they have all their supports mid with Reable, and Melojul's still fine.
Oh, there's gonna be a tornado, there's gonna be an EMP. The IO was ready, Malady does have the sticks, and now Melojul, he turns around, they're coming over, a double stun. He does get sent back, please don't chase us, but he has 4 legs, very fast at that as well. And Roger is gonna be needing to use his 2 to survive, goes for the sticks, goes for the fairy fire, just enough for him to get himself out of that one alive. Navi knew, and they were ready.
It was so cool. It was like so telegraphed that Darkside was there. Melojul could see Soneko, and we can see like he pumps up the stun. And he's like, "Okay, guys, everyone show up." And Darkside, they bring both supports. They're losing the side lanes, and in the end, it's Navi that gets the kill. They even smoke up here on Darkside. They do have the Meteor Hammer though, so Reable, see if he can get those combos going.
Let's see what Rabel will be doing. They bring the other Titan here as well. And Meteor Hammer, it's gonna be coming down with the sleep as well. The IO is there, healing him up, making sure that Melojul doesn't take enough damage. Are they gonna bring him back? Nope, Melojul, more than fine. He just moves himself away.
Oh, a little bit. Again, that's a bit unfortunate for them. They keep putting so much effort into this mid lane for Darkside. It hasn't really given them anything. Bottom lane, Malik is doing a really good job against Dizzying. Like 45 and 13 to the 34 and 6. So you were talking about this guy, showcasing his pudge, first game, being promoted to Division 1, and not yet having the start that you want. Whereas Shigitsu is absolutely bodying Blizzy in the top lane.
Ravel will be taking some damage in the mid lane, but we will be fine. Snake already used this glimpse, so there's not going to be any kind of chases. At least Roger takes the rune away from Melojul. The problem is they're not accomplishing anything in the mid lane, and the side lanes aren't looking well. Malik is being eaten, but yeah, let's fight. Let's do it. He even misses the hook inside of the arena, taking so much damage, but the help is coming over Rabel without boots. He's not that fast. Look at him crawling towards Malik, and he doesn't do anything. So Navi again are going to be quite happy with what happened.
The strong lanes from Navi are making themselves felt, right? You can see that on Darkside, they feel like they keep having to adjust the lane, go mid, go bottom, and like they keep sending people here. So Nico, he's mid by himself. Has to be a little bit careful, but looks like they're not going to go too aggressive on Navi's side right now. Oh dear.
Yeah, well, they really didn't have to go too aggressive because this thing was so low. Now we're going to be going for Melojul. Here comes the Meteor Hammer, and finally with the Mortimer's Kisses, Melojul will be going down. Malady, let's see if they can pop the balloon as well. It seems like for now, that's not going to be happening. So Neko chasing forward, but he will never get in rage in time.
A good kill for Darkside, much needed. Like, thankfully they were able to get that, but losing your Pudge, I mean, that's your carry, and he's kind of used to do well. He has to get the Aghanim Scepter going to counter the heal coming out from Navi. If his Aghanim Scepter is late, Navi could just roll over and get all the tier 2s, and they can't do anything on Darkside because their big... Oh, the lane by the way, going out to meet your hammer on the tower. That's always fun to see. Their big chance to win the game was going to rely on this Aghanim Scepter on Pudge. It cannot be delayed too much.
Well, looking at it right now, Blizzy had a really bad lane, and Dizzying is not really ahead of him all that much, so it means that he's really having a bad time here in the bottom lane, and none of the supports are helping him. They're putting all of the emphasis on Rabel and his Meteor Hammer, which for now has been unsuccessful. I have to say, Navi, they're in such a commanding position.
Rabel is going to go for the Hand of Midas to sort of come back, but I'm not sure if this is the Hand of Midas kind of game. Oh, here we got a fight though.
Daniel, there's going to be some hammers dropping down, not on his head though. He's going to be defended by Melojul and just gets himself away from that one. Yeah, as you mentioned, 3 Quasses, they're not enough.
No, you need a bit more than that. I mean, they're trying to combat with the kinetic field, but guess what? Kinetic field, it's not a stun. You can, like, it's not that, like, you can move to the side and dodge. That was what we saw Daniel do. He was able to get out very last second, so it's not the best combo, but Daniel might lose his life now, though. It's not gonna get out.
This time around. This time around, there's no saving him for sure. Yeah, there's gonna be another arena being used, and with a relocate this time around, you're not getting too far away from that arena. It's gonna be a kill. Rabel TPs to the bottom lane. This time around, so late to even attempt to save his buddy.
And again, this is what we've seen, right? Every time Navi gets a kill on a core, Darkside might get a kill on support. Right? It's like, it's not really the same thing. You're not really getting the same value for Darkside. Yeah, they were able to kill the Skywrath Mage twice. It's like, so what? He doesn't care too much. And it's I mean, he's going for a very, like, economical build on Skywrath Mage. He's just got Boots, Magic Wand, and he's got Blightstone. That's it. He's ready to fight. So, it's a bit scary for Darkside. Once Navi gets online with the IO, he's going to go for the mech. Once he has that, it becomes really difficult for them to bring down the Leshrac, which we've said before, to be fair.
There were a lot of small fixes in the patch in terms of some bugs. Did they fix the Mystic Flare bug?
The one where you can't see it?
Yeah.
I didn't check if it was there now, but I know the bug that you mean. And we're gonna go for a fight mid lane. Doesn't seem like it. And they do lose the tower, so that's a good amount of pressure from Darkside.
And they didn't get the deny. That last hit from the Siege Creep actually secured the tower for Darkside. So they're the ones that are going to be opening up the map, opening up the mid lane. They have level 3 in terms of glimpse. They're going to have level 4 soon. So those chases could come in handy. And Darkside, they need a ton of kills to get back into this one.
My worry is Rabel going for Hand of Midas instead of like an Urn. I understand why he's doing it, because, I mean, Invoker needs levels, makes a lot of sense, but if you have Meteor Hammer and you're not landing it, you kind of need the Urn to help you get some of these kills, but you're going for Hand of Midas, it feels like it's a lot of gold that may not be bringing you value. The Meteor Hammer doesn't land, the Hand of Midas needs time to pay off, and it's like, this 5,000 gold Invoker is not giving you the value that you need, although Malik could lose his life here.
Now, let's see, Meteor Hammer coming down. He's going to be able to get out the spear, but the hammer does drop. He's not taking damage. The hook will be there. Onto Daniel, but here comes the cavalry in 4. Oh, they send him back. The Glimpse nicely down there. Rabel trying to get himself away with the Invis. He'll be okay, but here comes the big boy, and will be using the ulti as well. Shigetsu, he strikes so hard. There is going to be a stomp, but after a nice meal of eating up Darkside, they're just going to have a nap.
That looked so good for Darkside. They were able to get the hook straight away on the Skywrath Mage, the land the Meteor Hammer. I was like, okay, they're gonna win this, but it just wasn't. Oh, mid lane, Meteor Hammer, and misses again.
Middle tower has fallen.
It just needs more levels. I'm guessing that Midas might help, but this is taking too long for Rabel to really be a threat on his own, and it's just becoming worse and worse for Darkside by every minute.
Yeah, I mean, I get it makes sense. Like we can see it work. It just feels like you'd rather have a nice, like a nice follow-up stun. Here, it doesn't have much to work with on the Invoker. It needs levels, and it's taking too long. But overall, I thought that fight was going to go very well for Darkside, and they do get the glimpse off on Melojul. So they were able to take that fight, what, 4 versus 4? I think 4 versus 5. I'm not quite sure how many Darkside had, but it started well, and they still managed to lose it. And now Ayo's going to have a mech in about 400 gold.
That's gonna make it even harder for Darkside. You know, we talked about maybe their damage problems. I thought the other Titan might be able to help with that, but when you have damage issues on your heroes, when you're 6k gold behind, and this is before Navi gets some of their BKBs. We talked about it that they might not want to do it, but if you're this far ahead, you get the BKBs, you're never gonna die.
By the way, speaking of damage, Sonika is going to go for a Veil to give you a little bit of that magic damage. It's nice, but I'm not a big fan of the Veil on Disruptor. I think it can work, but I feel like Disruptor, you're better off getting the Aether Lens, Force Staff, Glimmer Cape, rushing an Aghanim Scepter if you can. Feels like Veil. It's okay. It works with the Pudge, works with all. You have mostly magical damage, but I think it gives you the amp you need to bring down people.
We'll see if it's gonna be enough. They have a mech on Blizzy as well, so at least you have some kind of sustained. Pudge is approaching his Aghanim Scepter. That could be the damage they need. But I don't know, this physical damage of the CK, I feel like he's gonna be ripping this Pudge to shreds.
Yeah, I mean, you look at them; they're pretty low armored heroes, right? It's like Pudge is just a easy guy to bring down. CK's got a lot of physical damage, and he's already he's going to go for the Blink Dagger after the armlet as well as the Echo Saber. He can disassemble the Echo for a BKB. At which point it's like he's unkillable. You have Dismember, but that's not much. Like that's not enough. You have no damage follow up after that when he's BKB'd.
So win probability 76% for Navi, definitely showcasing what's happening right now, and they have been steadily increasing their lead ever since the start of the laning phase. They have been looking much stronger. So OTOMO, give me some good news for Darkside, because we're not seeing much of them on the map. Is there anything that's gonna change the current situation?
Fortunately, feels like a lot of it's going to come down to Sonika to get some decent glimpses off. You can get vision of someone, bring them back. That could be a way for you to get some pickups. So you have some, like a decent ward in the rivers that you can spot people. That could help you. Maybe if you get a glimpse, bring someone. That would be the way that you can take a fight. Like that, I'm thinking it's all on Sonika. Do something. Otherwise, we wait for this thing to get Aghanim Scepter. It's that's the only two comeback mechanics that I'm seeing.
They want to go for Malik. He's going to be making an arena. The Static Storm and the Kinetic Field will be dropped down. They're going to use a ton of ultis. They want to kill him, and it's taking them a long time. The Wisp comes over. He's not even going to die. Darkside, they throw out everything they have, and now Sonika will have to use the Tumbler Story to get himself away. They are stranded here in the bottom lane. They don't get the kill, and the thing is, you're not forcing out a fight now.
And Shigitsu's on the way with the DD Ruin, by the way, so they could be taking this tier 2 bottom if they want to. Oh, Lord, that was... They threw everything. It's still not enough to kill Malik. I mean, Malik's it's not like he's got super tanky items. He's gonna go for a kill.
Yeah, it's this is how you go for a kill. I feel like Navi are showing Darkside. Darkside's lineup, it needs so much good coordination and stuff like that. And when you're behind, it's almost impossible. Navi, it's I blink, I stun, you kill. It's so easy.
Nico? He's got. I said Sonika, bro. You glimpse and then he dies away. That's the problem. You blinked, sorry, not glimpse. He's just so fragile. You saw she gets to just jump on him. He's got the blink dagger, so he's very interested in just jumping on people. A couple of hits, and they're gonna be losing their life. Navi, it's been just an absolute stomp. Can we say that? Is that allowed?
Yeah,
that's allowed. Okay, good.
It is.
They've been smashing them.
Yeah, that is. I think that's a very nice way and a, easy way to put it, because that's what's been happening in this game. Ever since the start, it has been Navi all the way. There were times where Abel in the mid lane was doing okay in terms of CS, but that's kind of the only thing I can say that is going well for Darkside. On the bottom lane, they used their spells perfectly, but it ended up going still badly for them. They didn't get a single kill. So Navi now, they are not playing overly aggressive. They're just increasing their lead and getting to a point where they might be unstoppable. And what is that point here, OTOMO? Are they going to go for BKBs, or do you think this kind of a lead is going to make them be greedy?
Navi, I mean, they have the mech on the IO, and Bloodstone was finished on this track. I think it finished fairly recently. So, yeah, I don't know how you're going to be killing him if he activates the Bloodstone. It has been nerfed. It used to be 6 seconds, now it's 5, so it's not as strong. And Pulse Nova has been reduced. But when you're 9k ahead, I don't think matters. And Darkside, they smoke and they go to kind of the worst place that they can go. They have no vision of the area, and they decide they're just going to go back to farm here for dizzying. So that was a bit of a wasted smoke and wasted time, and they cannot afford to make too many of these mistakes.
What do you mean that it was the worst place? I mean, there were no enemy heroes there, so if there were,
Oh, yes.
it'd probably just be slaughtering you. But yeah, I kind of got the answer there. Navi are making the BKBs. They're not risking anything. It's gonna be Shigetsu and Malik getting theirs very, very soon. And then this Darkside damage problem, it becomes a damage non-existence, actually, from their side.
Oh, it exists. It just tickles. Oh, that's the one we wanted.
Okay, let's see now. The relocate, is it gonna be coming out? Yep, is out. He's gone. You did nothing because you already used the glimpse for to start off the fight. And let's see, you still have a hook. You have ways to reposition your opponents. That is a way to come back into the game. And now it's getting very tense with Navi thinking about going in. There is gonna be an ice wall there, but they don't care. They're just moving through it, smashing through it as well. And the hook, Mali is gonna be caught inside of the kinetic field. Actually, maybe outside of it. Okay, now they're gonna be playing with him. It is gonna be volleyball left and right, and the ball isn't gonna be going down. Yes, it will, but the fudge getting super low. They're just dying. You managed to kill a support, but you lost 3 heroes in the process, and the tower will follow suit as well.
Maldi must be so happy. He got hooked and then glimpsed sort of to safety. I mean, yeah, he still died, but he was not in the middle of the damage. Like he lived a lot longer than he needs to. And Rebo, he's gonna go for a kill here. Probably gonna get Daniel, so that's nice for him. But it's another. You know, you get a couple of supports, but you lose so much more. And oh god.
Oof, that hurts. Ooh, it felt like 100% crit rate there, but
yes,
that's Shigetsu. He really did hurt Rabel. He really didn't like his buddy being taken down there.
I mean, this is what we talked about, right? Every time the Darkside gets a couple of supports or a support kill, they lose twice as much value, and that's what happened. They lost pretty much 4 people in that fight. I mean, there is a decent amount of fun on Rebel. He's not too far behind, although he's dead with the Hand of Midas on cooldown. He's getting pretty close to the BKB, so there's hope. You know, it's just it's very faint. It's a glimmer of hope. It's not much.
Navi's approach here or coming back into the Division 1 as an after being eliminated, just picking up PogChamp's lineup. I mean, it feels like the Simpsons meme, you know, Barney getting thrown out of nose. And I mean, they're looking pretty much unstoppable, at least in this game number 1. I mean, we can't really judge, but the team is looking great.
They are. I mean, again, you are up against Darkside. Darkside was 6th place in the previous tour, so they were very close to getting relegated themselves. So, you know, Navi, they are... I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but they're not going up against, like, the best of the best in the region right now. But they are showing off that, yeah, maybe we just got promoted, but we can still take down a few of these Division 1 teams, no problem.
I like how Soneko has positioned the camera beneath him, like you are beneath me. Though in this game, it doesn't really feel like anyone is beneath him because they're just getting smashed. But I always like to see the way he sits. He's so confident, so it seems like this is not hurting him all that much. Rabel, yeah, Rabel is going to be hurt. He's going to be a cause rebuke, and here comes the relocate, which means that he's just going to be taken down. He does force some of the rotations, he does take the tower, but he still loses his life.
It's hard to find something positive right now for Darkside. However, top lane, they do have a numerical advantage here. They could get Shigetsu. He has BKB though.
Oh, maybe get his 9-second BKB. Says, let's go, let's fight. They want to take the kill. Shigetsu pops the BKB immediately. It will be eaten. Run, fly, you fool. Shigetsu, he turns around, wants to fight, goes for a TP. Not gonna be happening. He's been stopped. Shigetsu, he might actually die. They're doing everything they can to kill him, and they're gonna be successful. What is gonna be the cost of taking his life? They only lost 1 hero so far, and they're not gonna be losing anyone else. Darkside, they strike, and they strike very hard.
I mean, that was 4 versus 2 for them to take, but it's still a huge thing, bringing down the most valuable person on the enemy side. So much needed kill for Darkside. It does cut the net worth advantage a little bit. They need to do that about like 3 more times for it to really start making an effect. But yeah, they sacrifice Roger for Shigetsu. You do that trade any day of the week, and twice on Sunday, I believe.
People do forget about the Earth Splitter actually canceling the BKB TP. For those of you guys, just so there's no confusion, Split Earth, Lash's spell, the one that you just saw on the screen, that's his first spell, the stun. The Earth Splitter is the ulti of the Elder Titan, and it does cancel out the BKB TPs because it moves you slightly, and it does cancel the TP. That's why he died. Shigetsu, he forgot about it.
You know, I just realized that they actually have this almost the same name, right? Split Earth and Earth Splitter. It's like, oh, okay. But Elder Titan, he is rushing the Boots of Bearing. This is definitely an item that has gotten significantly buffed just because you don't have charges anymore. It's just a, you know, every 30 seconds you can use it, and you can get away from slows. Navi, they have. I mean, it's not, they're not full of slows, but it's still very helpful to have against them. So actually, they have a bunch, right? Lightning Storm, Concussive. I always forget that Tether also slows now, but overall, it's kind of crazy to see him go for Boots of Bearing so rushed, right? Like, he's got one Boots of Bearing, nothing else. He really places a lot of value into the Aghanim Scepter, so that's a very interesting shopping list from Roger.
Blizzy. I have no idea how he survived. Malik, though, now has a shard on the Mars. All three of the cores of Navi have BKBs, though 1 9-second one was already expended. And Rabel, he has his BKB. We're seeing Lesh going for the movement speed talent. Interesting. So he wants to make him and the Wisp super fast.
Yeah, that's not, by the way, it's not able to get much gold on Malady, unfortunately. He's the most farm support, but besides the mech, he hasn't been able to get anything else. He's getting close to the what should we call it, the Glimmer Cape, but we often see them rush the Aghanim Shard here. But he's choosing not to go for it. I mean, it makes sense. Reducing enemies' magic damage is a big deal in this game, but Darkside, you want to go for this? Roshan's still fairly healthy. They have time to decide.
They have 2 BKBs, fresh ones on Darkside. They're going up against 2 fresh BKBs and 1 8-second one, so it's not like they're in a great position, but they're not wanting to give away the Roshan. For now, they're not going to be doing it.
This could be a very tense moment for Navi here, right? You have a great lead, you rush this, you lose your people, you give away the Aegis, and suddenly Darkside, who has been on the back for the entire game, might be able to just swing it around with it and take that 9,000 gold advantage. So I like that Navi is being patient with this. You don't want to throw it, and top lane Reable, they might jump on him. Malik, he's thinking about it, but reveals himself, and Reable just walks back safely.
This is a bit of a problem for Darkside. Their ability to push out lanes is very limited. Their supports, they can't do it. Look at what Shigetsu's doing. He knows how hard it is for the enemies to actually kill him. And
Roger?
Navi coming forward. Yeah, Roger, you're dead. It's just a matter of time before they kill you. And they're not going to take so long, are they? Concussive shot doesn't even connect, but a couple of stuns and the right clicks will.
And looks like, and they ping out. They're like, "Oh, I put a ward here. Let's actually do this." Yeah, they're like, they put 2 sentries. Let's go for it. No Roger. You know, with the Echo Stomp, with the Earth Splitter, that was a big part of their team fight their lineup. So, oh, here we go though. Melajul might be losing his life.
He got the BKB off, so it's gonna be very tough to actually take him down. He can take some of the damage, and now there's the arena comes the BKB. The Zink, he still has his 9-second BKB. Oh, you shouldn't have got him back. The tornado there, and the Wisp comes over with Melajul is very much dead. That's gonna be a hero down. They do lose the Disruptor, and Blizzy will follow suit as well. Dizzying now, trying to run away, has the phase boost, but no more BKB pulled into it. The Mystic Flare, it's not gonna connect right next to it. We don't need spells, we don't need magic, only right clicks to bring down your fat boy, and it is gonna be 1 core of Navi dying, but again, at a major cost.
Man, if Melajul did not get his BKB off, that would have been all in favor of Darkside, right? It took them so long to bring him down. They're heavily committed. And by the time they did get them, everyone showed up on Navi's side. They were able to get a triple kill for Shigetsu. So, oh man, like Darkside, you feel like you see glimpses of them doing this brilliant move, and because they're so far behind, it just ends up backfiring. If they could have just bursted down Melajul, it would have been really good, but it takes them too much, and their lineup is just all magic damage. That's really hurting them against this the BKBs coming out from Navi's side.
I feel like this is the problem that we talked about early. The new meta comes out, and I think I love the Darkside lineup. It has some great ideas, but you're just not gonna execute it perfectly or even close to it because you're not used to playing these heroes. And then Darkside not really being like a tier 1 team at the moment that they can play anything. You can see it. It hurt them in the early stages of the game, and now they are just they're helpless. Even though, as you mentioned, they're making good moves, they're playing good Dota, but they don't have the strength.
Yeah, right. It's like when you fall behind, it's so hard, especially against sustained lineups with a lot of heals. Like those ones, because you think, oh, I could just burst someone down. There's like Io. I gotta give so much credit to Malady. A couple of times he saved. One of them was Malik, and then he saved. I think Shigetsu the top lane, kept him alive long enough for them to turn. Like he has been playing an absolutely baller game on this Io, and kudos to him. He's just been doing a fantastic job. All of Navi has, but I gotta say Malady has made Io look very flashy.
I think. You know, no one is surprised. Malady has been top 1 Europe MMR sometime, and he's a position 5 support. You know, I don't think he's top 1 right now, but he's a god of his craft. So yeah, nobody's surprised here. Malady, this is what's to be expected from him.
Radiant's top tower.
Did they find anyone here in the top lane? The Mildew was about to throw a split earth into the area, then he's like, no. Even though there are people teleporting in, so. And at the same time, Navi, they're playing a bit, not gonna say slow, but they're very careful not to throw their advance. Like the way they did that with the Roshan, the way they're doing it with these pushes, and I like that. It's very disciplined. They want to make sure that this is how they were able to make it all the way back to Division 1.
Triangle has been taken, so Navi, they're in complete control of the entirety of the map. You can see Rabel in the bottom lane trying to force out some rotations, but for now, Navi, before they get the tower here on the top lane, they are not gonna move a single inch. This tower will fall, giving them even more control of the triangle, even more control of the Roche, which currently is already in their possession, and they're gonna have that Aegis for another 2.5 minutes.
But check out what Blizzy has. He has gone for the Chrysalis, he's got the Brigand's Blade, so he's going for the the damage built on the Snapfire. I like this. I think this is an adjustment that's much needed. He's gonna need to get to level 20 though. You need to get that level Shredder uses your attack damage, because until then your damage is still a joke. Like once you get that, then you start actually shredding people down. So he needs about 4 more levels. I was gonna say Blizzy's been very quiet, but he could have the comeback of the century if he gets to level 20.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Darkside and I feel like they need to go into the ultra late game. It's not even late game. Rabel pops the BKB top lane. He was getting very low. He does have the invis there. Gets very fast, but immediately the dust does slow him down. And with the hook, the arena is going to be used, but he gets out of it just in time. And this thing is going to pop his BKB, start eating the meteors are dropping from the sky. But no, relocate comes out just in time. And they're not going to lose a single hero Navi yet again, but she gets pulled into the base. Don't let him leave. The Earth Splitter, are they going to split his wing? Yes, they will. But the question is that going to kill him? The answer is no. He will be protected by the helmet, by his teammates, and Navi, they don't lose anyone.
I mean, even keep the age. Again, like we just said Malady's so good, and he saves Malik, and that's like, oh man, Malady is so good. He is just really impressive. Master of his craft indeed. And, well played by him. Unfortunately for Darkside, they have to force out a buyback from Roger. He still does not even have his boots of bearing. He's had the same items for, I think, like, I don't know, 15 minutes now. It's still the drums, the magic wand, the triangle boots, and nothing else. We were expecting a little bit more from this ET, but Roger hasn't been able to do anything. My eyes are still going to be on Blizzy, though. If he just gets level 20, I say that like so easy, but if he gets level 20, you have an opening. He could shred people. Can Darkside hold on until then? I don't know. It doesn't look. It looks like they're going to be losing at least some racks until then.
True. I saw a big item on Navi, and that's the Deso on Malik. We already talked about the low armor on the Darkside lineup. Yeah, they might have the Guardian Greaves, but that's about the only thing that's keeping them alive. With the God's Rebuke, with the Deso, and with CK doing so much physical damage, they have the AC as well. I wouldn't want to be in the skin of Darkside.
To be honest, dude, I'm not really sure what Darkside's plan was with their supports, by the way. Both of them want to rush Aghanim Scepter. You know, like Roger's got it queued up. Soniko's already got 2 pieces of it. He's got almost a 3rd piece. Like, it's a very ballsy play. You know, they feel like, all right, we're not gonna win conventional methods. You know, like we're like get the normal items, Force Staff and Glimmer, and try to just pick off stuff. It's like, no, we gotta go for this giant wombo combo and hope that our spells land. And it's very ballsy, but it also leads to situations like this where you're really far behind because your supports don't have that same value as the enemy sides, right? You have Io, he's got Glimmer Cape, Mech, he's good. You look at Skywrath Mage, he's got just a Force Staff, 800, he's good, he's ready to do whatever you need. You look at the other, like, you're just not getting the same value of Soniko and Roger yet. They might get those Aghanims and crush it though, who knows?
True. I feel like the idea was we have cores that can create space, but then those cores got dumpstered in lane, so their space creating capabilities are non-existent. They are going for a smoke, so we'll see if they can find something here.
And by the way, Rebel also has a Hex. Now that is going to help a lot. Like, they've been needing a little bit more lockdown. This way, you throw down someone who has BKB. Like, before they activate, you get enough time. Like, 3.56 is enough time to bring down anyone. So this is huge. If Rebel can get a good Hex off on any target, I think they can bring down in 3.5 seconds. As long as Malady is not around, though. That's the big deal.
Those tornadoes in the back, they're gonna have to be perfect. I'm liking how Malady is positioning himself, never in the line of his teammates, pretty much just like he's playing against the Wind Ranger. He's always to the side, and then he goes for the last second with a tether to get people out, because the tornado could stop the relocate, but he's just never able to guess from which side the Wisp will be coming through.
By the way, he's also got the best neutral item, the Paladin Sword, you know, so that's another nice bit of heal coming out for his team. It's just, everything going so well for Navi. And you also got the Philosopher's Stone on Daniel, so that's the one that Scarlet Mage always wants. Just, sometimes you feel like a team gets all the luck as well, you know? It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna give Paladin Sword to the best support who can utilize it.
You know the saying, he who dares wins, right? So it's so they're making their own luck. I'm gonna say here, because Navi, I feel like with Trevor item we would see on there, oh, that would be good, because everything is good when things are going so well for you. And
yes.
Melojul is gonna be going for a refresher here, and is gonna have it. So it's gonna have a long BKB.
Big smoke from the Darkside here. By the way, who dares wins. I swear to God, the first time I heard it was like 2 days ago in my life. I was watching a show called Cheat on Netflix, and they're like, "Oh, well, there's a concept called Who Dares Wins." I was like, "I've never heard of this one." And today,
you never watched Only Fools and Horses?
No, I haven't. And now you say it's like, it's crazy. I hear the same saying twice in 1 week. I haven't heard it my whole life. I don't know how that works out.
You need some education. I'm not even gonna talk about it. We'll talk about it after the game, because I'm gonna be a bit harsh. Yeah, I'm gonna be a bit harsh. Anyways, though, the Roach can spawn in 5 seconds, so we'll see just how fast it will be there. Navi, they can defend this area so easily. There's just literally no way for Darkside to invade there, and Darkside, they're just trying to control the bottom part of the map. This is not a good position to be in, but luckily for them, the Roach is not going to be spawning for 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long one. By the way, Melojul's got a Refresher Orb, so double Bloodstone, double BKB is pretty powerful. I mean, who cares if it's 1 second less if you can get twice the value out of it now, so youch. But again, as long as they can get a Hex off, it might be worth hexing Malady, honestly, like just get rid of the IO, because then you actually have some sort of... If you go for someone else and Malady saves them, you would waste so much of it, and so it might just be worth it. That's the problem, right? They found the bottom lane. He's right there.
Yeah, but in 5 seconds, he's not going to be there any longer. They're going to be jumping in and trying to kill the Iron. They're going to be able to do it. What a play coming out from Darkside, but are they going to be getting out of this one alive? Rabel has to go for a BKB TP out. The physical damage is insane. You have no armor. You have no life.
Well, that happened. That was, they got Malady, just like I thought they would. It was very costly though. I mean, taking a fight next to the enemy tier 2 with all the TPs available, that was just very risky. It was a good kill for them, but unfortunately, Darkside, they keep getting punished, right? Every time they make a good move, like they get the right target, but just so far behind, so far behind. Mel's just gonna go for the Hex, so it's gonna be double Hex with the Refresher Orb if he wants to use that as well.
The thing is, when you're so far behind, you're always trying to save things. Like, I have a 7-second BKB on the Invoker. I don't want to instantly use it to TP away, and it just costs you. It costs you your life right now. Navi are not going to be going for Roach because obviously it is not up still. But Darkside, even with I mean, that was a cool play, and we've been talking about it. They've been reading the map nicely, but the thing is, they're just unable to do anything. I like their movements, but they don't have the resources here. Let's be honest. They don't have the resources to do anything.
No, and that's why like taking out the supports first might just be their only option. And I like the plate mail coming out from Melojul. We were talking about physical damage just now. She gets to shred him, so he's like, all right, I have to get it. But that's the problem. You always have to get something to counter another problem that the enemy has. Like, oh, I gotta get BKB because they got good magic damage. All right, you got BKB. Oh, now I gotta get Shivas because they got good physical damage. Like, okay, now I gotta get Shivas. It's all sort of, you know, one problem you have to solve, and there's another problem coming out. But I mean, they've been able to hang on for almost 40 minutes. It's not the worst thing. You also have Punch. So if Navi gets careless in the high ground push, they can do something. Lizzie, he is in a very scary location, but manages to just sail past Navi here. Getting close to that level 20. I'm sorry.
Something that teams, everyone except Hydra in Division 2 did, and that counts Navi, or this lineup at least, is that at least in week 1 and week 2, they were very slow to approach ending the game, right? So I would be very much surprised if they make a critical error in which they get hooked into tier 4s.
I know what you mean, right? It's like at the start, you're like, let me just get a couple of wins so I can't get relegated, you know, we have an advantage, no one make a dumb move, and it's like after that, you're like, okay, let's play a bit more balls, especially when you're up against a better team that you kind of need to. You gotta play with no fear against them. So I understand what you're saying. And by the way, that's going to be the second Aegis dropping. It's going to go to the Leshrac. Youch. I mean, we talked about this guy having the refresher orb giving him double value. Now he's got literally double life. And a Spell Prism or a Timeless Relic. He can pick whichever he wants to go for the Timeless Relic. Beautiful.
Yeah, and he also got the shard, so inside of the arena there's gonna be a lot of the earth splitting completely, and not a good kind for Darkside, not coming out from their Elder Titan. The gold lead continuing to increase. Roger on the bottom lane, he has decided to give up on the Boots of the Bearing. He's going for an Aghanim Scepter. He feels like he needs to be the one doing the heavy lifting, so the supports of Darkside, well, talk to me about those. You know, are those Aghanim Scepters game-changing? Can they allow them to win the game?
Not Rogers, I'll be honest. I don't think Rogers' Aghanim Scepter is a big deal. He's got 7 armor. He's a position 4 Elder Titan, so he's the poorest hero on the map. So he gets an Aghanim Scepter. I mean, I'm going to make sure. Yeah, it's still the same thing. It's still the free BKB. It's nice, but Shigetsu's going to shred him. He doesn't care. So I don't think that one. But Seneco's Aghanim Scepter could be a huge deal. He's got only about 100. He should have it after this wave, actually. That one could be game-changing.
But the Spirit gives you armor, don't it? So that could be good.
Sorry, I have a bit of a cough.
Okay. So, considering that my colleague is trying to survive there, and I'm no, you're trying to survive. You're not dying. So let's not get ahead of ourselves there. You're gonna be fine. Though Darkside, yeah, they are being kind of strangled here as well. So you can maybe hear their cough as well. You were going for that, weren't you? To show us what's going on there in the minds of Darkside.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, he's next on the punch, and now a fat guy will become a piggy who makes too much, it seems like, and because of it, you will fall. Navi, they do bring him down, and here comes the tornado. It's gonna be catching no one as she gets her, jumps into the base and smacks down. The other Titan will buy back. Glyph is keeping them in it for a little bit longer, but Navi, they seem to have broken Darkside completely.
Blizzy, he was able to eat the Tome of Knowledge, but it's still 9 up to level 20, so that was, I mean, I've been going on about Blizzy's getting level 20 on Snapfire. That would have been their win condition for a long time. Just doesn't look like it's happening. And, I mean, dizzying, a bit greedy with that BKB, bro. I mean, it's only 7 seconds. You might as well use it in that situation.
It was, you know, it's probably unexpected for him. He, either they didn't see the Hex, though it was there for a long time, or he forgot about it, considering it wasn't used in fights. Glimpse will be used, but Melojul doesn't care. He's just trying to break through the kinetic field. Obviously impossible, but when you're this far ahead, you feel like nothing is impossible.
Oh, Blizzy, just jump in and turn level 20 and then buy back or something. I don't know. Just need the Snapfire 20. At least they're not going to get Mega Creep just yet. They will have a chance to defend the bottom racks with the punch when he comes back. They're going for a smoke, actually. Oh, okay.
The one that was seen, but at least you're gonna be finding an angle from which you can engage. Melojul still has the Aegis for another minute and a half, so you don't really care, even if you do get caught.
This is level 20, man. This is gonna be the comeback of the century.
Okay, let's see the comeback. He has another Crystallis as well, so Blizzy is gonna be critting a lot. Yeah, that is gonna be a lot of single targets until he gets level 25. It's not really gonna be AoE, but let's see if it can change anything, really.
I believe he's gonna make something crazy happen with it. I mean, call me a fool when it happens. I'm sure you will. You know, you never hold back. But I think that this could be... It's certainly what they need. We'll find out if it's going to be enough, but this was the right move coming out from Darkside, and I hope Blizzy can make something happen with it. He's had a very quiet game. He is one of the 2 people who's joined the team. I believe it's Blizzy as well as Dizzying. Dizzying, you know, maybe game 2 will be his game, but right now it's all on Blizzy to carry them to victory. And he's going to have to do it fairly soon, because Navi, they want to go bottom to take the Rax bomb. They're 40,000 gold ahead almost. It's going to be the defense of the lifetime for Darkside.
I guess I am the bad guy calling you out in your optimism all the time. Though you're a pretty bad guy calling me out for calling you out. Anyways, the Stomp is gonna be there, and nice little sleep on them. They're gonna get the hooks. He still has the Aegis, so even if he dies, he'll be coming back in 5 seconds. They have lost an Echo, who didn't even use his ulti, and the Air Splitter is coming. Melojul pops the BKB, turns around, and oh, yeah, well, you guys are way too afraid to go for me. The hook is not going to be connecting when there's no sleep. It's a little bit harder to connect. And now he's jumping and pumps the BKB. He is hungry, but he's going to have to deal with another BKB of Melojul. And now jumping in. They don't have the power. They don't have the strength. But guess who does? Navi. With all the right clicks, with all their spells, they're going to be cleaning up house. and winning game number 1.
Such a clean performance by Navi. Honestly, like, it was never really in doubt. They looked like they were taking control of the game from the start, and stronger lanes. I especially like the Skywrath Mage as well as Malik's Mars. The bottom lane just looked very clean. Blizzy top lane also wasn't able to get anything against Shigitsu. So Navi, they looked really strong. Mid lane, we could see that Darkside tried to fix it. They bring in both supports, and that didn't work. And Reable, I did not like the Meteor Hammer. The Meteor Hammer is fine, but Meteor Hammer and Hand of Mice feels like a very greedy combination that you have to go for, and it took way too much time for him to get online.